Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome everyone to our call this morning. Greetings and good morning to everyone. Greetings to those of you who've been up for 5 or 6 hours, and good morning to those of you who are just getting up. I am Dr. Derek Kenner, Master Trader and BYOB Educator. I just want to welcome you to this 9 a.m. live in the market profit call, where we focus on indices and Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at one pair this morning because something happened that was pretty good, pretty exciting. We'll share with you in a minute. So we're going to get started in a few minutes, but I want to welcome everybody to the call. Again, greetings and good morning. We want you to drop your affirmations in the chat and let us know where you're calling from. I want to welcome each and every one of you to the BYOB Worldwide Movement, the greatest economic movement in the history of mankind. So it's a pleasure and an honor to be part of this movement. And as you come in, drop your affirmations and in the chat. Let's see where you are coming from, where you're calling from. We've been really blessed to have people calling from all over the world. And so I want to say good morning to Minnesota, good morning, and to Cleveland, Ohio. Followed up with a good morning by Cleveland, Tennessee. Great day and greetings from Manchester, UK. Good morning, Stone Mountain, Georgia. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning, Essex, and greetings to Essex, UK. It's been wonderful. If this is your first time on the call, I want you to drop a 111 in the chat. We'd like to see who or where we are. We also, if you're still learning how to cash out, drop a 222 in the chat. And if you're cashing out, drop a 777 in the chat. Now, those of you who are at the point where you're compounding in an effort to get 610-6, drop an 888 in the chat. Just for your information, we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so you can plug in them as well. Our affirmations are looking good. I'm a BYOB master trader. I'm a signal. All my trades in a profit. Now, those are the basic affirmations we suggest that everybody make. But you can always add to them. I compound daily. I only trade with the trend of the market. I'm 6 figures in 6 months. The one I like and the one that really, I believe, at least for me, really helps me see some progress is I'm committed to being focused on my success, and I'm willing to do what is required. How many times do we know the people who say they're focused on their success, especially this time of the year when all these so-called good year promises that they make to themselves go awry within a short period of time. So, when we focus on our success and think about it, that's something that really helps us. Because these affirmations become a part of who we are. When we believe in them, when we get set for them, when we get in front of this chart, and we're focused and at peace, things happen. So remember that, the skill set is simple, but the success requires a mental clarity when you apply it. So good morning from Texas. Good morning, Milwaukee. For those of you who are new to the call, let me help you understand how our weekly call schedule works. From Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we're live in the market with Forex pairs and indices. On Tuesday evenings, we at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our BYOB Market Talks. Last night it was a beautiful BYOB Cash Out Strategy Basics training. It was followed by an anniversary birthday presentation from the finance doctor. If you didn't see him last night, he was all geared up. I mean, it's just those special things that you have to be online to really catch, to appreciate who we are and what we have. So Dr. Bythwood, thank you so much for last night. Wednesdays at 9 p.m., we're starting something new. We're going to have our HFX Simplified Basics training tonight, followed by live HFX trading. So you want to see this, even if you're not trading options, You want to get in and see how this trading is done. It's really beautiful, happens really quickly, but it's really specific, I think, almost scientific in the way that they approach it. So make sure you get a hand in that. And tomorrow at 9 p.m., we're going to have our basic talks followed by an advanced training. And the basic talks will be about advanced training, but it's going to be followed by a talk with a finance doctor. So let's get started. This morning has been eventful already, I have to tell you. Let me share my screen with you and get on the chat, because there's been some activity already. If you can see my screen, give me a 111 in the chat, would you? Make sure that everything is in order. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Let's start. Excuse me. I want to go over the foreign markets because foreign indexes first, because money does move around the sun. We want to follow that movement. There's so many indexes out there. We focus primarily on 6. We focus on the DAX, which is the German DAX 40, the German stock exchange. We focus on the Ftse 100, which is the United Kingdom or Great Britain stock exchange. And we focus on the CAC, which is the French stock exchange. All of them focus on the top highly capitalized companies that give us a good barometer of what's happening in each of those companies. We also follow in the United States the S&P, which is our primary index, but we also look at the NASDAQ and the S&P, which follow different stocks that move in different directions at different times. Although as we'll talk about later, S&P really follows in line with the Dow or the US 30. So those are the ones that we focus on. We focus on them because we want to see kind of how money moves. And starting with the DAX, DAX is a good one for those people who are up early or who live in areas where it's easy to follow the DAX and see where it's going. We like the DAX because it's highly capitalized, highly volatile rather, and as a result, it makes the moves that warrant attention. We see here, we're looking at the DAX. Now we see over the last, this morning, we've seen that it has sold significantly, gone through a support line, bounced back up, and is in a general sell trend right now, short term. And again, it jumped up here. Now, something happened at this time. This is about 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time in the States. And you see these spikes here. We're going to get back to these spikes in a minute. We're in a different context, but we want to let you know that the DAX has responded to this as well. We'll let you know what that was in just a second. When we look at the Ftse 100, we see a similar type of activity. 7:30, things start popping because the market was moving and in the as a result of the news that was out there. Now, we didn't see that so much change at 7:30 on the CAC, which is the French stock exchange. It moves a little slower sometimes, but we did see a general rise this morning. Actually, this was yesterday. Let's move down to the 5. Because we want to make sure if that action took place there, we want to note that as well, because it was pretty significant. So we see here, it did indeed follow the trend and a significant rise. Well, I started here because I wanted to show you something that reacted to the news. We typically start with the news, and we're going to go to the news right now, because the thing we want to do is focus on what happened this morning in the news. And we go to our economic calendar, and we see here, we have a couple of red folders. Now, these red folders are for the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, that was going to be announced at 7:30 Eastern this morning. Now, we know that this is a CPI, as you can see here. We won't, see here, it excluded food and energy. It excludes food and energy because food and energy are volatile in it. So they wanted to get a accurate calculation of CPI. And so this report specifically excludes those two commodities because, again, it levels out the assessment of what's actually happening in the market. They were expected to come out at 7:30 this morning. They indeed did. Those are the only red folders we have right now. What we also saw was we also saw when we look at our other calendar this morning, we had red folders for CPI as well. But I tell you, what happened was at 7:30 this morning, the economic calendar for FX Street went crazy. If you were looking at the calendar at that time, you saw sell or buy now and trade now. Trade now was in bold red letters next to each of these CPI indexes right here. Consumer price index here, all the way down to here. You saw in bright red letters, trade now, trade US dollar now. I had never seen that on the news before. I was alerted to that by someone else who works with us in the market. I was looking at something else. And I tell you, in preparation for this call, I had just completed my own personal call. We're going to look now at what was happening with GBP USD because I want to show you exactly what was going on. At that time, at 7:30, GBP USD jumped up to this mark. It hadn't been at this mark since November of last year, November 4th to be exact. Specifically, what we were looking at was this. At 7:30, when the CPI index report came out, the news said trade now, and the market jumped significantly. And jumped, as you can see right now, this is 7:30. This is Central Time. It jumped up at this point and went as high to its high. That hasn't been this high since November of last year, within a period of 12 minutes. So from the point that the news came out to 12 minutes, it was trending significantly high, significantly fast, to the point where if you were there, you made your trade. Now, fortunately for me, my trade, these orange lines indicate the trade I was in. I'm just going to show you this because I had been looking at this before. I didn't have any awareness that it was going to jump this high at this point. No one did, actually, because the report hadn't been mentioned. So what's the essence? What's the most important lesson here? Need to watch the calendars. And we not only need to watch the calendars to get an overall view, but it's really beneficial to go back to those calendars when they predict something is going to happen. The calendar said this morning that CPI was going to be announced at 7:30. It was, and when it said it was like a neon light that went on to go out and buy it. So the lesson is watch the calendars. Opportunities emanate from the calendars. The news pushes the market in ways that we need to be aware of so we can make a wise decision and won't be changed. And when we do that, we can take advantage of something that happened like this. Now, this is not a currency pair trade, but I wanted to show you what happens in the currencies when that happened. Now, I also showed you that the DAX jumped up in response to that news. We also saw that the UK Ftse 100 jumped up in response to that news, as well as the French market. All of them jumped up in response to that news. So listen, what happened in the States? Well, the bell is not going to ring for another 15 minutes. So we don't know if we're going to see another reaction to that CPI report, but we know we might want to anticipate that because at 7:30 this morning, US 30 jumped as well. If we go down to, we can see here at the 5 how it jumped up to its high in a long time. NASDAQ jumped as well as the S&P. So Where are you, S&P? So all of them experience some significant growth at the same time. That's what's important right here. So we're going to go back to S&P because I want to explain a couple of things. I want to go over our strategy and go over our tool before the bell opens in 13 minutes. We want to make sure that we have the base set, but we want to look at the S&P. We're going to look at this S&P, and actually we're going to look at this trade that we're focusing on this morning so far to get a sense for how the BYOB cash out strategy works. And we follow the BYOB cash out strategy because it's efficient, it's effective, it's copyrighted. It was created by one of the masterminds. We have 3 mastermind leaders in our company. Yesterday, we celebrated our 4 years of existence. Mr. Gerald Rogers was a visionary, not a CEO of the company. And he created this. He created the 4 years ago, he and Ms. Dyer sat down and talked about this happening. He and Mr. Bythewood and had been talking about this opportunity as well. 3 of them came together and created what we now have as an opportunity 4 years ago. And Ms. Dyer later created this BYOB cash out strategy. Cash out strategy is effective, 92% accuracy rate. Ms. Dyer herself traded when she was in the Army. She used to be a major in the U.S. Army. She traded for the U.S. Army. She has come out and has several master's degrees. And she is a leader that has not only created something for us to work with that's simplified and accurate, conservative, risk adverse, but it's something that we can put our hands on. Now, this strategy works hand in hand with this tool. This tool, if you see on the left, we call it the vibrata. The vibrata used to be called the web analyzer. This vibrata is a premier tool that's set up perfectly for the BYOB strategy. Mr. Rogers, our visionary, met with the creator of the vibrata several times to determine its best use and its effectiveness, particularly using the BYOB cash out strategy. Other groups around the world have tested this strategy as well and have come up with similar results. The point is this: we have a tool that we can go out and share with others. So if they choose to learn the skill set of using it, can change their lives. And that's part of what we are all about. Our goal is to impact 2 million people this year. And that happens by each of us experiencing the success of the strategy and then sharing it with others. Because it's like a good gift. You don't want to keep a good gift to yourself. Well, sometimes you do, but that's not the thing to do. The thing is to share. Share the idea, share the benefits, share the wealth with others. And when we do that, lives change, futures change, dynasties change for the better. So we have these 2 tools that if we stay focused on what they can do, the strategy, the vibrata, we have pretty much everything we need. And it encompasses a lot of other strategies itself within the BYOB cash out strategy. So that being said, we have the confidence now to look at the markets with the idea, the belief that we can come out ahead. We can see what's happening. I tell you, when the news said this morning to trade the US dollar, that was pretty exciting because, again, not only had it, I haven't been in this business for a while. My background is in the investment business. I had the opportunity to work in institutional investment arena space for a while. In so doing, I had a pretty good understanding of what happens from an investment perspective. And I had a pretty good understanding of how to work with clients to, grow their portfolios to the extent that they saw success, financial success. But what I didn't have the ability to do was to protect those clients when the market was falling. Because when the market falls, all you can do as an investor is hold on. Because it's like going down a hill and you don't have any brakes, so you can't control your speed. And you certainly can't profit from a fall in the market as an investor. But as a trader, it's an entirely new environment. As a trader, we have the ability to go in and focus on what's happening on the downside as well as the upside, and we can find success. That is make money in either direction. And so we saw that happen this morning, particularly with these pairs. Now, let's take a good look at what's happening right now. Right now, we see that at 7:30, the US 30 started its climb. Now, and some people took advantage of that, I'm sure. If you took advantage of that buy, whether it was in this index, or even if you took advantage of it in the currency pair, put a 777 in the chat, because we want to get a sense for, see how many people were aware and were able to take advantage of that. Now, I'll tell you this, if you weren't aware of it, yes, good master. If you weren't aware of it, good. Look at people who are even taking advantage. That's wonderful. If you weren't aware of it, now we have an opportunity to take it on the downside. See, like that 10-speed bike, we can control and profit from what's happening as the market goes down. Now, let's look at this. At the 5, we see the stochastic going down. Let me explain. I got away from myself. Let me explain the cash out strategy. What we have here, let's look at it right here. The stochastic is our leading indicator. It's this purple area between values of 20, and 80. And we want to look at the stochastic as it flows, which is basically this blue line crossing over the red line, and then follow the motion, whether the motion is going up as in this direction or it's going down. So let's look at something that's relatively recent. We see the stochastic now at the top of the value near the 80, and is moving right now in a downward motion towards what's happening currently. That is our first indicator, and that's what we want to keep our eyes on. Now, the second thing we want to watch is another indicator, which are our candles. You see these green and red candles are Hikinashi candles. Hikinashi candles are a moving average of the price as the price rolls up and down. These wicks indicated whether it opened, where it opened, closed. So it gives us a sense of how the market is moving. And then the other indicator is this PSAR. So if we were looking at, and we want a PSAR that's going to be under a candle, a flat bottom candle when the market is buying, and above a flat market, a red flat candle when the market is in a sell. So you can see right here, and this is the first place where the market meets that criteria. We have the market is in a sell. It's moving, the stochastic is moving in downward motion. We have a red candle with a flat top, and we have a PSAR on top. When we have that, that tells us that there might be an opportunity for us to look at this. But that's only the first level. The second level that we look at is the time frame confluence. We want to make sure that this 5-minute is in confluence with 2 other time frames. And the first one we're going to look at is our 30. So when we look at our 30 here, we see that the market, the stochastic is moving up. It has a green candle. So that tells us right now that those 2 are not in confluence. We would not make this trade based on that information alone. The third indicator that we would have looked at, had there been confluence between the 5 and the 30, would have been the 3. And as you can see, the 3 is in line with the 30, but not with the 5. The 5 is in a decline, that is in a sell. That's a good thing for us at this case, because we want to try to take advantage of it. So right now, the S&P is, the US 30 is in a sell and is not confluent, so we would not take that as a trade. Although that's something that we might want to put on our watch list and wait for a good setup to move on it later. When we look at our NASDAQ, we see that the stochastic is moving. It's at the 80 value. It's moving in a downward direction. We have a red candle here. which was 5 minutes ago. We look for confirmation at the 30. At the 30, we see that again, that the market is moving up. We have a flat candle, but the market is moving up with the green candle with the PCR under red. So those two are not confluent. We look at the 3. Again, we find the same thing we found at the 5, at least at the 30. I'm sorry, at the 5. And that, again, is not confluent. So between these two indices, we're seeing some movement. Now, the market is going to move. It's going to open. The index is going to open in 5 minutes, in 4 minutes rather. And when it does that, we want to kind of be aware of what is likely to happen. I can't say likely, but it could happen because, we had a strong reaction to the CPI this morning at 7:30. The market hasn't had a chance to react. So there might be some movement on the upside, given the CPI news as well. We can only wait and see. But having that information in our back pocket, that gives us some sense as to what could happen. This whole idea of training, this practice of training, this skill set of training, the profession of trading is an art. When you get as much information as you can to make your decisions, we put ourselves in a better position to be profitable. Everything that we're doing, everything that we look at, all the homework that we do to make the right types of trades are designed to culminate in profit for us. Is designed to help us make profitable moves. So we have some information now in our back pocket about the CPI that happened that we want to keep our eye on. We're going to look at to see what's in the news again to see if anything has changed, and nothing has changed. Forex Factory, nothing has changed. But it was in, the FX Street where the alerts came to trade. And so I was just suggesting we take advantage of that again. So getting back to the market, we're going to focus right now on the US 30. And at the US 30, we're just going to sit and wait. We got 2 minutes. We're just not going to sit there for 2 minutes, but we're going to come back to this thing within the 2 minutes and 15 seconds, see where we are, and make a move as to, and watch the market make its move and make some decisions from that. Again, we're sitting at the 5. The Stochastic is moving down. We're going to stay here to see if it moves. I mean, look at this. Look at what's happening on the 3. The market has started moving up. On the 1, the market starts moving up. The Stochastic is moving in directions that we kind of anticipate, if you will, that the market might indeed go. So the 30 is up. And if we look long term, for an index, long term will be the 1 hour. It's sitting straight up. So we can anticipate that it is indeed going to go up. The question for us right now, how quickly will it go up? So when this bell moves, we are confluent on the 5. We're confluent on the 30. And right now we're confluent on all 3. So don't make your move until the bell rings, which is in 1 minute or 58 seconds. Now, once that bell moves, still try to maintain some patience, because you don't have to jump in right away. There may be some pushback right away. We don't know what's going to happen, but don't push the button right away. If you once we see what's going to happen in 30 seconds, we're going to keep an eye also on what's happening. The NASDAQ, as you can see at the 5, the Stochastic is moving down. And again, the 30 is up as it is on the other indexes, and at the 3 minutes is going down too. So the S&P probably will be the move that we're going to watch. As you can see already, the last 5 minutes ago, the last candle was a green candle, and we just saw the bell open, and again, yes, indeed, it's moving up. So we are confluent. At least we have the flat candle that we want. The stochastic is moving up. We have the P-star. The P-star hasn't flipped yet. So we want to wait until that P-star flips before we make the move. That's really an indication that the market is indeed moving in the direction that we want. As you can see, prices is going up and down. And you can tell that by the length of that wick that's going up and down. You can also tell the price. We don't have the price up here right now, but you can follow the price that's indicated over here in the red. At the 30, we have, our lattice candle just hit, and that candle also was moving in the upward direction. And at the 3, everything is confluent. So what are we waiting for? When we follow the BYOB cash out strategy, we're waiting for a candle where this P-star is going to flip. Now, you may be eager to jump on it because we do have a green candle, flat top, at least a flat bottom in this case, but the P-star hasn't flipped yet. It just flipped. So the P-star has flipped, and it's also going through a support line, a resistance line, rather, I'm sorry, a resistance line. And so the body of the candle is about to move through that line. So that tells us that this is a move. And as you can see, that candle is growing. We look at the 30, that's staying the same. Look at that, it's moving through that as well. So this might be a trade that you want to move if it fits your plan. It doesn't fit everybody's plan, so everybody's not going to jump out and get this. Remember, we trade indices for bonus checks. We trade pairs for compounding. So, if you were to look over at a pair, the pairs might be moving as well because the market is moving. The market, as you can see, that's a pretty solid buy at the 3. At the 5 is solid. The 30 is solid as well. So things are happening. Okay, so we're seeing right now, basically, but there is some response to the CPI news that came out an hour ago. And the market is reacting to it now. It's the first time for the market had a chance to react to it. Now the S&P is reacting stronger than the NASDAQ right now, and that's fine. We don't have to trade all 3. Let's trade the one that's working for us and take advantage of that opportunity. We lost our, let me see if I can put the back up here. It fell off our S&P. Put this back up because we want to make sure we're looking at everything that gives us a good picture of what's happening. Here we go, S&P 500 down. Okay, so the S&P 500 is also moving. As I mentioned before, it kind of tracks the Dow, and it seems to be doing that as we speak. Getting back to the Dow at the 5-minute, it's still moving. Now we have another minute. Any trade decision should be supported by what's going to happen with this next candle in a minute, in 2 seconds, because we get another green candle with a flat bottom. You might want to step away for a minute and take advantage of this. If any of you do take advantage of it, let me see. I don't want to see 777. Let's see something a little different because we have 77s up there already. So let's do a 999 just for this so we can separate what's happening on the chat from the previous 777s. If you profit on this, give us a 999 in the chat so we can get some indication of those who are moving. I know a lot of people look at that 999 already. That's wonderful. A lot of people wait for the bell to make a move. And that's, if you're trading indices, that's a smart thing to do, particularly on a day like today and yesterday, because we've had significant movement on the bell 2 days in a row. Now, does it happen like that every day? No. We have Market is moving fast. Look at that bias really going up there. Let's look at our liquidity. Average liquidity right now is less than 100%. It's going to tell us as soon as it quits buffering. We'll come back to it. We don't need to wait. Well, we can believe it. And look what the US 30 did. It turned around. Stochastic is moving down in downward motion. At the 5, go back and look at what precipitated that. Look at the 3 at the 1 minute. 1 minute is still moving up, but there's a wick there, there's a candle there, it has long wicks on either side. And we know based on that alone, this candle can go in any direction, either direction, in the next 13 seconds. We're gonna stay right here to see what it looks like as it counts down from 10, because the 3 kind of anticipates flows into the 5. It's going to give us some sense as to what might happen at the next boom. So time has changed, and now we have a fall in the stochastic, significant fall into a sell at the 3 minute, and we can see that is also happening on the 1 minute. So we had some reaction when the bell rung in response to the CPI news, and it jumped up on the US 30. We had confluence for a while. We actually had confluence for about 5 minutes on all 3 of our time references, and then it fell. So the trading opportunity was something that we are able to take advantage of. Ms. Dyer, you have something you want to jump in with?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing? Drop a 555 in the chat if you are excited as we dive in here this morning. 555 in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, before I jump in, I just wanted to dive in because this is CPI day. This is a tremendous impactful day following our NFP. So we're talking about CPI, which is fundamentals move the market. So we're talking about CPI at the very beginning of the year. So that's why I just kind of wanted to dive in here for just a moment. But I definitely want to salute our educator. I want to salute Dr. Kenner. As you know, he definitely is walking you through the markets and showing you. But I'm going to jump in real quick. Because the reason I'm jumping in right now is strictly because this is literally the first one of the year, right? This is the first CPI of the year. And so I just wanted to give my perspective. And of course, I wanted to say hello and good morning, right? I wanted to say hello because as you guys know, you guys are not going to be hearing my voice as much anymore. I think I just lost my setup. Oh my gosh. Let's try this again. All right. And I just, like I said, I just want to dive in here, but let me do this. So I'm going to try to open this up again. And if for my seasoned traders, please be watching. But I just want to take a deeper dive this morning, just a deeper dive, just a little bit. So I'm messing up my thing. Give me 1 second. My share is not working. 1 second. But we're going to make it work. How's everybody? How are the new educators? Come on now. How aren't you guys excited about what exactly? Salute. How are the new educators? I mean, seriously. And are you guys ready for this evening? Are you guys ready? BYOB, cash out, HFX simplified, right? Seriously, they are phenomenal. And when I tell you BYOB, we're taking this to the next level. We're taking this to the next dimension. This is definitely where you want to be. Exactly. HFX simplified. So tonight, come back here. You want to make sure that you are back here at 9 p.m. 9. So if I can get this up, I'm going to share my screen. But give me a moment. I don't know why it's not doing this. Probably because I really want to share with you what's happening with CPI. I really want to talk to you and navigate through this process, right? So let me see right here. I think I got it. I think I finally got it. All right, so Dr. Ken, I'm just jumping in for just a moment, and then I'm gonna give it back to you. But
take your time, Ms. Diane.
But like I wanted to jump in. You see what it's doing to me? Now you guys can see it, right? Now you guys can see it. So what we're gonna do is first things first is with CPI, a few things I want to. Now this is the first one of the year. I'm not gonna pull the news up because we already had the news, okay? And of course I'm on the browser that's not working. Can you guys pull up your index alerts? And I want you to look at your indices, right? And you see that all of them are triggering for a buy, right? All of them are triggering for a buy. Can you guys see that? Now, every last one of them. Somebody already got that. All right, awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squinch the charts up for just a moment. Yeah, I said squinch it up. I think I heard Ms. Graham say squinch, mocking me. But I want you to take a look. So when I'm on my higher time frame, remember this is what controls and dictates the market. So you got to clear your cookies and it'll work. The browser that I couldn't get back open because they got this thing where you can group your tabs together. And that's ultimately what I did. And so this user error on my end. So, but I didn't want to keep trying to figure that out. I just opened the one where I knew they don't feed. This is my Safari, and on this computer, my Safari does not feed. So it's user error. But you can go in and clear your cookies and they'll pull back in. So but I want you to look at your indices, okay? If you pull up your indices and if you're looking at them, you see every single thing is actually triggering for a buy, right? So as I'm looking at that, then of course what we are is, this is what you see, that rejection. So as I'm looking right here, obviously I'm on my US 30. We just had the bell. What you're seeing is some rejection, okay? You're seeing some rejection. So when you go back and you're looking at the reports, you can see, I want you to look at my hour right here on my US 30, and you can see that stochastic starting to get that curve. Now, why is all this important? Remember, as we closed out the year, and this is why I wanted to jump in, because I want you guys to remember, as we closed out the year, right? As we literally closed out the year, one of the things that was taking place is the market started slowing down, right? The news was not having the same fundamental impact that it was having. And come on now, work with me. But the news was not having the fundamental impact that it should have been having. And so what we're seeing is now this is the first one of the year. So it's very significant, all right? So what we're seeing obviously is these zones, okay? And as we're looking, you can see right here that this is very significant. Now, am I at a psychological level? No, I'm not right here. But I want to get in here and we want to mark up these zones. Now, this one is close to a midpoint, all right, a mid-psych level. But I want to get in and I want to mark up these zones because I want to make sure that you guys see what it is and where you have the potential to go. You know, it already kind of spiked up. We know it at 9:45, we might get a little bit of movement. If not, then at 10 o'clock, we'll get a little bit of movement, but we can already see that shift starting to happen, right? You already see it. As I begin to drop down in my time zones, my stochastic is only curving because we're rejecting, all right? And actually, let me make this adjustment. We are a buy. So I'm thinking, so 36.5, y'all see I haven't done a call in a while. So 36.5, that is a psych level, and then come back over here. So we're real close to that 36.4. So when I look at it's 100 points, I was thinking about the regular Forex pairs. But when I'm looking right here with the 5, so when you're looking here, you're at a psychological level. And that's why we're having the rejection that we're having. So what we're waiting for is the results of the report. Remember, the fundamentals move the market. How you need to remember things is the BYOB cash out strategy, and then the fundamentals move the market. Strategy is your technical analysis, and then the fundamentals move the market. Y'all say that with me, but don't unmute. The fundamentals move the market. And understanding that, we had 2 months. Remember, we slowed the calls down. And then we had 2 significant months where the market just did not move the way. Thank you for typing it out. So the market did not do that. And so now what you're seeing is the first one you saw, like when we came back on Monday, it was a 300-point move, all right? And so Then you fast forward a little bit, and now Wednesdays is a heavy news day if you haven't noticed. This CPI always happens the week after our NFP. Last week, you all made a lot of money. This week, now look at what's happening. Let's walk through this. See, we're watching it. What did I tell you? 9:45. So now you see that it's trying to turn and break back through. So now you see my stochastic starting to get that curve on it. I drop down here. We do have some rejection. Yes, I'm here at the lower time frame, but I do have some rejection right here. And I mean, now take a look. Look at how this is starting. So what you wanted to do is break through here. Obviously, you want to have that required patience. Look at my hour, right? Look at my hour. That's beginning to pull up. And you can definitely see what's going on. Now, as I come through here, right? And as we pull up, now S&P is going to also move, right? S&P is going to also move kind of that same way. But you see, let's come to our higher time frames. We want to start here. Now, look at all this space and opportunity that we have. So when I'm looking here, okay, when I'm on my S&P, same thing. I'm going to make this back yellow. We don't have time to kind of go through and mark all it up. Dr. Kenner already has all of that marked up on his, right? And then, of course, I come up here and I have nothing but space and opportunity. And so we needed to break this zone. I'm just trying to prep you because today is going to be some movement. All right. Today is going to be some movement. Okay. Today is going to be, look how it's ready. Do y'all see all the green? The green on the alerts. I have fake alerts, but do you see all the green on the alerts? We're not talking about my fake alerts. Do you see all the green? Do you see all the green on the other one, right? You guys see it? So if you pull up your indices, I know y'all not looking at my alerts because nobody responded. Look at your vibrato, because we already know your vibrato is up as well when we do this call. Your vibrato is up. And if your vibrato is up, then you should be, okay, there we go. So now what you're seeing is we're now waiting on that break. We're now waiting on that move, right? We're now waiting on that. So we see the rejection happening, but so this is what Dr. Kenner was referencing, right? This is where he was down here. And so what you're looking at is you're waiting on that momentum to catch. We do have some rejection because we're at a psychological level, but you're waiting on this to catch. Now let's confirm. Let's put some pivots on here. Y'all miss my pivots? Nah. So right here we're right at that center point. Yes, I know we're overbought some, but you want to make sure. We already know we peak. Anytime we peak, we fall. Anytime we peak, we fall. But you notice how it's hanging around those pivot points. It got up to my R1, pulled back down to my S1. And now look at where we are as far as this pivot. So, this how your chart set up. I love it. And so you can definitely see. Let me see if I can get my S&P. So, right, let's see if we can get it going real quick. No, that was S&P, my NASDAQ, right? So, y'all bear with me. I still got the same internet from last year. So, some things have not changed. We won't say never changed, but something. Now look what's happening. So when I remember, these two can do different things. Okay. So my S&P, my US 30 and my S&P, they hang together. Best friend. So they typically hang together. Your alerts are over here, and you see all the positivity that's flowing through. Well, not positivity, it's all positive because we always profit. But when we look here, okay, I definitely can see where we are. All right. And as far as my NASDAQ. And so I just kind of want to give you those zones that you can be looking for. Obviously, we have to break. So even if I put a psych level right here, let's get my psych level together, and we're going to get the color right. Right. Let's get that together. Get my color right here. You can see where I'm at with that psychological level. And that one. Look at how many zeros are in that one. So what does that tell me? What does that tell you about this one? Right. So here we are. Look, we've been doing 100, 200, 300, 400. But what is this? How many zeros is this? It's more. The more zeros, the stronger it is. So it's going to tell you right now, this is significant. So it has to break this. Do not buy until we break. So do not buy until we break. Look at how it's impacting my stochastic. It's trying, right? It was up, and now look at what it's doing. It's trying. Questions, comments, testimonies, because I don't need anybody. Look at my stochastic. Look at how that thing is curving now. Let's begin. You see my 4 hour? It's still in that buy. Look at how it's getting up there. It's curving back. My 1 hour is curving. Yeah, have you seen this transition since we've been on here, right? You've seen how it started curving up, right? You see that? Drop down to my 30. And what you see is still there. So just because we start getting this, do not push that button. Don't do that. Don't do that. And this is why that rejection is there. This is why this is happening right there. This is why you're seeing what you're seeing, right? And this is why when we get to our lower time frame, I don't consider consolidation on my lower time frame because it's simply going to always be a reaction off of the market, right? That's what it's going to be. Like when I come down here and I look, if I start seeing consolidation on my lower time frame, that's not enough weight to give me any, it doesn't hold any weight, right? Remember, y'all remember my granddaughter, the crybaby? I love her dearly, but remember the crybaby? So she doesn't control anything. As a matter of fact, if you keep crying, that's authorization for you to go sit in a timeout, right? That means that we're not gonna do something because you don't run this house. And so remember that, she don't run the house. And so as you're sitting here and you're looking at this, the higher time frames run the house, but yet they still have to break through that zone before we take a trade. Questions, comments, testimonies. And like, look at how we're starting to curve, right? We're starting to get the momentum is trying to break through there. So you're about to get $100 day over here, right? $100 days, $100 days. You're definitely about to get it, okay? Definitely about to grab one of those $100 days over here. You might be able to do it over here in a little while, as well as my S&P. My S&P. But you want to let it wait until we get that. So you see my stochastic is down, but it is not the authoritative one. My authority figures, my authority charts, time frames, look at what they're doing. So the lower ones have to get in alignment with my higher ones. They don't have a choice. They have to get in alignment. And we are here. Questions, comments, testimonies, right? Brand new 4 hours. Come over here, my 15. You can see what's happening, right? Y'all see it? You see it? You see it? You see it? All right. Questions, comments, testimonies. And like I said, I just wanted to get in here because this is the first one of the year. And I want to make sure that you guys, and I just wanted to say hi. Let's just keep it real. I just wanted to say hi. But, I actually do miss the charts. I'm not gonna lie. But, we have some phenomenal educators, right? Phenomenal. So, but I do want to give you guys the opportunity to kind of see and understand, because we talked about it, the entire last 2 months of the year. We walked through this the entire last 2 months of the year, right? We walked through it the entire last 2 months. And now what you're actually seeing is it actually implements. So I wanted you to see how it flows back after every single thing that we did as last year closed out. And now you get to experience the liquidity flow back into the market. So, you missed me. Oh, so, but you get to see the liquidity flow back into the market. Look, see, you even have a PSR flip now right here. And as a matter of fact, let me get down here to my 3 minute. Okay, let's put this, it did not star. So if I come down here on my 3 minute, I definitely had that PSR flip. We're off my 3, I got my 15. I definitely have confluence. Now, just keep in mind, you do get some bouncy, you do get a little bouncy, but this is nice, steady movement, right? So since we've been having this conversation and it broke this line, you can see right here on a 1 minute, you can see where all the activity is happening. Remember, we're only here for activity. We're not here for decisions. We're here for activity, not for decisions. It helps with my entry point. And as you can see that it's moving, and what's happening is a little bit, but you got to be able to ride the wave and ride through it. That's strong, right? So you're going to get pullback. I want you to expect the pullback. We're coming up here. All right. I want you to expect the pullback. It kind of wicked out. So let me actually see. It might be about, I would pay attention to this zone right up in here as well. Right up in there, right with that last, because all of them are support and resistance lines. So, but this is kind of, where is that at? Where did I just mark up? Kind of like that midpoint in between those two psych levels. So I would kind of pay attention. But remember, indices, you need a little bit more advanced knowledge, right? Support and resistance lines. It hasn't started moving yet, other than a little bit that we just talked about. So I would definitely prepare, right? So look right here, I would definitely prepare for, let me drop down to that 3. That's already flipped on the 3, I know. Yep. I would definitely prepare for, the 10 o'clock. Because if you're not already in a trade, don't get in a trade before the bell. Don't get in a trade before the hour. Wait your 5 minutes, let it break. It'll break through this zone, and then you'll get some movement, right? You'll get some movement, and then you'll be able to take that buy. All right. I just wanted everybody to be able to maximize the what we talked about and see it in action. And I mean, this is where this happens. Guys, I love you. This is our 4th year. Are you excited? Oh my gosh. You about to make some. Who did anybody cash out though? Seriously? Anybody cash out? Anybody cash out? All right. Who else anybody cash out? All right. So year 4, BYOB, 2 million strong. About, you know what? 4 million strong. Let's just elevate, right? This year of elevation and acceleration, 4 million strong. Like I say, it just came out. So it's just like 4 million strong. I'm excited. And I'm just telling you, look, they go to S&P, right? S&P, I love it, 777. I'm expecting all of you all to have a very profitable day. I'm expecting all of you all to just walk in wealth. I'm expecting all of you all to just, seriously, guys, I'm expecting you all to profit and benefit and capitalize and just really and truly understand what is taking place, what's happening. See that pullback I talked about? This is normal. This is normal. It's normal. Okay. And look, so it already tapped there, but then we had some nice pullback. This is why I said wait till 10 o'clock, right? I said wait, it's going to start moving in just a moment. But this is why I said wait till 10 o'clock if you didn't already take the trade. So look, see, there we go. You get that pullback, it's coming, it's going to turn around, and we just gonna cash out. All right. So guys, I do love you now. And I also was gonna make an announcement anyway. I was diving in here because tonight. Can y'all say tonight? You can find me. We're not gonna find me at the club, right? We're gonna find us on Zoom. We're gonna find us on Stream. We're gonna find us on HFX, right? You can find me at HFX is where you can find me. You can find me with in and out of the market. You can find me with some education. You can find me tonight. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it tonight, right? You do not want to miss it. We have some phenomenal educators. I am just excited. You've already heard from 2 of them, and we have 3 more to go. So it's seriously, tonight you're going to have HFX Simplified first at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We do have the basics. So it is really helping you understand, just like we have cash out basics, right? So you're going to understand what HFX is. So you want to plug in, you want to allow her to explain to you exactly what it is and walk through that. And then right after that, so that is Miss Nicole Morgan Walker. And so she is an international platform stylist. She is having international impact. She hones in her skill craft. Just somebody you want to listen to, where you want to be plugged in. And then after that, we definitely have Miss Victoria Turner. She is an executive. She is definitely in a top leadership position and one of the top 50 companies in the United States. And when you have people of caliber that understand why you need to be here, why we all need this skill set, no matter where you come from. Because when I say no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, and I'm gonna just put it in his words, because tomorrow is advanced, right? Tomorrow is your advance. This call schedule is designed to elevate you. So we start with basics and then we work our way to the advance. We start with basics and then we work our way to the advance. So come Thursday is your advanced training. It's your advanced day. And what's going to take place if we have an individual that is he is a veteran. He has served our country. He is also someone who, cellular type, very proud of his previous career, but now this is what he does full time. He's a full-time trader, a full-time dad, full-time husband, that's what he gets to do. But he nicknamed himself the blue collar baller. But I'm mentioning that because it literally allows you to see that no matter what walk of life you come from, no matter where you are, this is for everyone, right? We have people in top corporate leadership positions. We have people veterans, we have people who have done handwork. We have people, right? What I tell you, 10 o'clock, didn't I tell you? Y'all gonna learn to listen to me. All right. So, but tomorrow is all advanced. So we build you up and we set you up for success. All right, guys. So with that being said, look at how we're moving now. 10 o'clock. That's what I try to tell you. All I want to hear is $100 days, $100 days, $100 days, $100 days. All right, Dr. Kenner.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ms. Dyer. We truly appreciate that. And we do look forward to the positive and profitable days everybody's going to have today. Ms. Reed, are you available to close us out?
Yes, I am. And I thank you so much, Dr. Kenner. And for you, Ms. Dyer, this is what you get for being so good, how you reproduce yourself. And we miss you too. Let's pray. Great Father, we just want to wish you a great morning on this wealthy Wednesday where we can't do anything but win, win, win. God, we celebrate you first of all and most of all. And then we celebrate 4 years of this great movement and all that you are doing to us, through us, and for us. You are sovereign over us. And God, we just lift up our visionary to you and ask that the anointing upon his life will grow greater and greater as he leads us to victory after victory. Bless Miss Dyer, Dr. Bythewood, Miss Anderson, Miss Brantley, Miss Perry, Mr. Sims, Pastor Washington, Bishop Rollinson, Miss Graham, Dr. Kidder, Mr. Patton, and Miss Turner, and Mrs. Morgan Walker. Bless every BYOB family member, God, with this skill set. Give us a spirit of want to, will do, that we might be continually committed to our success and the perpetual success of generations to come. Thank you, God, for leading and guiding us to open hearts and open minds that will be impacted, empowered, and educated by March 28th this year. God, we thank you so much that you have chosen us to be the manifestation of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. We are absolutely amazed, God. God, we are doing a good work, just like Nehemiah. We're on the wall, and we're going to stay on the wall until we're finished with this work. And God, we give you praise and thanksgiving for divinely energizing us with the fortitude and strength that we need. It's in Jesus' name that we thank you in all things. Thank God and amen. And this officially ends this dynamic prophet call. Let's go our way rejoicing that we are on the wall. We're going to stay on the wall and get this job done. And we'll meet you at 9 o'clock tonight for HFX. Looking forward to it. God bless you.